I still remember the exact second my relationship ended. It wasn't when we fought. It wasn't when she packed a bag or said she needed space. It happened in an airport terminal, under fluorescent lights, in front of her friends. She turned to me, the man who had loved her for 2 years, and said, "Don't walk with me, you'll embarrass me in front of my friends." And just like that, something inside me shut off, not with a bang, not with tears, with silence, with peace. I nodded. I let go of her suitcase, and I walked away, knowing I'd never come back. We weren't always like that. Rosie and I, we started out sweet, real. I'm not the flashy type. I build things, furniture, decks. I like my hands dirty, my weekends unplugged. She was the opposite, always filming, always posing, always thinking about how a moment would look online. At first, it was cute, her energy, her drive. I thought, maybe she'll balance me out. Maybe I'll ground her for the first year and a half. It worked. We were happy. Or at least, I thought we were. Then, 6 months ago, she quit her job, marketing, stable, good pay, gone. She wanted to be a full-time influencer, said it was her purpose. I didn't laugh. I didn't roll my eyes. I actually supported her. With conditions, we made a deal. 6 months, I'd cover the rent, the bills, the basics. She'd use her savings for her business, camera gear, trips, content creation. It wasn't charity. It was an investment, a trial. If she didn't gain traction, she'd go back to work. Simple. But the moment she signed off from her job, the rules changed. Her business expenses started looking a lot like shopping sprees, designer clothes, a new ring light every other week, a weekend trip to Miami for content. I didn't say much at first. I told myself, this is part of the process, but deep down, I knew I wasn't funding her dream. I was funding her lifestyle. And I was the invisible engine keeping it all running. The little things started to pile up. The way she'd sigh when I mentioned hiking. The way she'd correct my grammar when we were on a call with her friends. Once, I overheard her on the phone. "He's sweet, but his life is so normal. It's hard to make it look aspirational." That one stuck, because that's when I realized I wasn't her partner. I was her background, her off-duty option, the guy she could come home to when the camera stopped rolling. Then came the Europe trip, 3 weeks, Paris, Rome, Santorini, supposedly her big break. Her final push before the 6 months were up. She needed one viral moment, one brand deal, one shot at the life she'd been curating online. I drove her to the airport, helped her with her 3 giant suitcases, each one heavier than the last, stuffed with outfits she'd wear once and never again. We got close to check-in, then I saw them. Her friends, Lauren and Ashley, dressed like they were on a runway, designer sunglasses, perfect hair. And the second they saw me, jeans, hoodie, no filter. I saw it. That look, the one that says, "Who is that? Why is he with her?" Rosie froze. She turned to me, not with love, not with gratitude, but with panic, like I was about to ruin her entire image. "Okay, you can stop here," she whispered, sharp and low. "I'll take it from here," I said. "I'll walk you to security." She sighed like I'd asked her to carry me. Then she glanced at her friends, then back at me. "Don't walk with me," she said. "You'll embarrass me." That's it. That was the line. Not, "I love you." Not, "Thanks for everything." Just, "You're embarrassing me." And in that second, I didn't feel hurt. I felt clarity, like a fog had lifted. I looked at her. Perfect makeup, flawless hair, designer everything. And I just nodded. "You're right," I said. "I wouldn't want to do that." I let go of the cart. "Have a great trip." And I walked away. No yelling, no drama, no tears, just peace. Because I finally saw her for who she really was. And I saw myself for who I really am. The drive home was the most productive hour of my life. The old me might have gone home and screamed, thrown her stuff out, made a mess. But I'm not emotional. I'm strategic. This wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming my life. Step 1. The car. She drove a luxury SUV. Beautiful, sleek, Instagram ready. But it was in my name. Fully paid off by me. I went straight to the dealership, found the manager I'd worked with, told him I wanted to sell it back. He raised an eyebrow. I said, change of plans. By lunchtime, it was done. The car was theirs. A big check was in my pocket. One down. When I got home, the house felt wrong, like it belonged to someone else. Her clothes everywhere, her products cluttering the bathroom, and the spare bedroom turned into a full-on studio. Ring lights, backdrops, racks of fast fashion. It wasn't a home anymore. It was a set. So I called a high-end junk removal service, told them, take everything that isn't mine, deep clean the whole place. I want it empty by tomorrow. They quoted me a price. I said, double it, get it done. They did. While they worked, I went digital, changed passwords on all shared accounts, removed her from my bank accounts, credit cards, insurance. Then I found her influencer website, the one she used to pitch brands. I didn't delete it. That would have been too easy. Instead, I logged in. She'd never changed the admin details, and I switched the recovery email and phone number to mine. Just like that, I owned her brand, silently, completely. By the next evening, the house was empty, clean, quiet, no trace of her left, and for the first time in years, it felt like mine again. So I rebuilt it. I bought a new couch, the kind you can actually sleep on, brought out my old oak coffee table, the one I'd built myself, got a bigger TV, a real sound system, turned the spare room into a workshop and a gym, things I actually use, things that matter. Over the next 2 weeks, I started living again. I met up with friends she'd called boring, went hiking, watched baseball games, did things that didn't need a filter to be enjoyable. And Rosie, she sent me a few texts, pics of her in front of the Eiffel Tower, eating pasta in Rome. Never asked how I was, just updates, like I was part of her audience. I didn't reply, not a single word. Then, 2 days before she was supposed to come home, I made my move. I used part of the car sale money to book a trip, a 2-week motorcycle tour through the national parks out west, Zion, Yellowstone, Grand Teton, a trip I'd wanted for years. But Rosie hated camping, hated dirt, hated anything that couldn't be styled. Now, nothing stopping me. The day before her flight landed, I sent her one email, subject line, important information regarding your return, short, clean, no emotion. I told her, per her request at the airport, I was no longer part of her life. Her stuff was in storage. Address and code included. The car was sold. The locks were changed. I'd be out of the country, unreachable. Wished her well, signed, Tom. I hit send, turned off my phone, and started packing my gear. She wanted freedom. I gave it to her. A brand new stage, completely empty. 5 days later, somewhere deep in Zion National Park, I turned my phone back on. The silence of the desert was gone, replaced by a digital storm, hundreds of notifications, missed calls, voicemails full of screaming, emails from her, her parents, her so-called friends. My buddy Dave filled me in. Her flight landed. She waited at arrivals, expecting me. An hour went by. No me, no car, no plan. She lost it. Full meltdown on the sidewalk. Finally took an expensive cab home. Driver helped her with her 3 giant suitcases. She gets to the house, tries her key. Doesn't work. Picture this. Rosie, fresh off a glamorous European tour, standing on my porch in designer clothes, surrounded by 300 pounds of luggage locked. Out of the only home she's had in 2 years, she calls me. No answer, calls her friends, Lauren and Ashley, suddenly busy, no cars, no space, her parents, 2 hours away, had to drive down and rescue her. Dave said it was chaos, her dad yelling, her mom crying, Rosie just sitting on a suitcase, staring at the door like it had betrayed her. Then came the social media war. That night, Rosie, Lauren, and Ashley all posted tearful stories. Never thought I'd be abandoned like this. Left homeless after trusting someone. They tried to paint me as the villain, but it didn't stick. Why? Because before I left, I'd quietly messaged a few close friends. Just the facts. Rosie and I broke up. She said some things. We want different lives. Hold judgment. So when the smear campaign hit, people were skeptical. Then, the airport story started spreading. Word got out what she'd said to me. Her victim act crumbled. But the best part, her website. Remember, I took control. While I was riding through the mountains, I made one small edit. I replaced her entire portfolio. All her filtered, perfect photos with a single high-res image. The receipt from the junk removal company. Total cost, $2,847, circled in red, under it. One line. Brand undergoing a strategic realignment. Please check back soon for updates. One follower saw it, sent her a screenshot. She lost it, took the whole site down. Gone. Her online presence. Wiped out by a receipt. A week later, a fancy law firm sent me a letter, demanding I return her access, pay emotional damages, whatever. My lawyer, a guy who loves drama, sent back a packet, deed to the house, my name only, car title, my name only, and a detailed invoice for her half of our living expenses. Over the past year, over $18,000 she never paid. Ended with, if you'd like to pursue this in court, I'll file a counterclaim. Silence, total silence. It's been 4 months now. I'm back. The house is mine, filled with things I built, art I chose, peace I earned. Rosie moved back in with her parents, her influencer career, dead, no trips, no content. Her feed is just old photos and sad quotes like new chapter beginning. Her friends, gone. Apparently, they got tired of her blaming everyone and asking for money. 1 month ago, a gallery owner called me. Said Rosie came in trying to sell some of our old furniture. Claimed she was an interior designer. He laughed, said the stuff was cheap, mass-produced junk, told her it was worthless. She flipped out, said I ruined her life. He paused, then said, for what it's worth, man, you dodged a bullet, a big, expensive, poorly decorated bullet. And he's right. She saw me as a wallet, a background character, a silent producer in her one-woman show. She thought my purpose was to stay quiet, stay useful, and stay out of frame. She never realized I wasn't the background. I was the foundation. And when the foundation walks away, the whole fake house falls down. I'm not angry. I'm not even sad. I'm free. I'm building new furniture, planning a trip to Southeast Asia, living a life that doesn't need to be photographed to be real. She wanted a perfect image. I wanted a real life. Turns out, you can't have both. Not when one is built on the bones of the other. She made her choice that day at the airport. She picked the image over the person, and in the end, that's all she got. A fading picture of a life she never really lived.